Hey, welcome back to Spinnerack, and we've got our latest round of comic reviews coming at you. I think just one book right now, but before we even get into that, let me introduce Prime Minister Petey, the only person who I respect when it comes to comic lore, as it is flawless and beyond reproach. Say hi to the folks, Petey.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We got a big one for you.
Oh, it's a big one, all right. Okay, so we're looking at what now? We're looking at Dark Knight 3, The Master Race number 5, which means they had to have really got you for the last 4 issues to keep you reading this fine. How many issues is this series going to be? Is it going to be 7, 8 issues?
12.
Are you kidding me?
I don't think it's going to be 8. I think it's going to be 12.
I thought it was no. I remember it was supposed to be like 7 or 8, unless they decided to extend it from 7 or 8.
Maybe you're right. I thought it was 12. I could be wrong.
God, man, I couldn't imagine them making people suffer, that long.
Yeah, it's been an interesting experiment and it's been a successful for DC, but story-wise, it's been very lacking and it's just been sort of just been moments of stuff that has been, I guess you could sort of say, is cool moments, but it's more interesting looking at the stuff that Kubert and Jansen are doing in this book. Although everything else is sort of you have sort of Frank Miller style writing. I guess Azzarella's doing that. There might be some interesting bits from time to time. I think. Well, I would also start and have issue with the cover because do you have the same cover I have where it's Superman facing off against Batman, and that's not really the what's happening in the book. I'm not sure why this cover is the lead cover on it, but then
Oh, you mean which cover? Hold on, which cover? The cover I have is what is this now? Superman is like flying to attack Batman. That's the cover I have.
that's it. And it's like that's not what happens in the book.
But remember, a lot of this stuff was in the can, I think, about the same time as the whole Batman versus Superman film. So they were really doing their best to try to capitalize on that. It's Batman versus Superman. There were so many covers like that all across, the DC slate. So I think this is just more residual, covers along with that. But I mean, to be quite honest, a lot of the interior art has very little to do with the story as well. It's just a bunch of pretty pictures and some trash at the end, and some trash writing at the end of the day.
This one, I guess, I don't know. It's you have some moments where you have like Aquaman in it, and Aquaman looks kind of cool,
That was
and
ridiculous.
but then it's like I forgot what happened in the issue 4, so I guess that's what Kara did to Superman.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he could have got out of that on his own. It didn't make any sense.
No, Batman had to do it. Come on.
It made no sense. I was like, what did they put him in here that he couldn't physically get out of on his own? I said, did a Kryptonian make it? Yes. I said, then he can get out of it. There's no reason for this. But the whole idea is we didn't get to see Aquaman before, so we got to see Aquaman now. And it's just like, this is I was like, this is just so ridiculous. Up to the point where there was at no point I really enjoyed the story. Like, I just, I'm going through it. I was like, well, we got to have something to review. So I'm going through it, looking at it, and I was like, I don't know why. I was like, why would anybody pay for this? I just don't understand it. Yeah, the art's nice to look at, but this is one of the dumbest stories I've seen in a long period of time. And I guess Dark Knight Strikes Again and All-Star Batman and Robin, they just weren't bad enough to keep people. I mean, I guess there's just a lot of discretionary income, disposable income when it comes to, a lot of comic book buyers, because this is just utter trash when you're looking at it. None of it really makes sense. But, what can I say? It's still selling. It's a top, what is it, like a top 20, top 30 book?
All of those other books, whether they be bad, good or bad, the Dark Knight Strikes Again, All Star Batman and Robin, all were sellers, and then this one comes, and it basically, DC is pushing. They made their money. It's it's still sort of pumping out. They're still pumping out the bad stuff, but it's selling. So what do? You keep doing what sells. I guess it's a tough thing because I know everyone likes the Dark Knight and we want to look at it as this piece that was of the 80s that was so powerful, and then we see what's behind it, all this stuff, and we get to see the true heart of the Dark Knight and all the things, how how Frank Miller saw the DC universe, and he's pushing it even further.
There's nothing behind it. And there's stabs at being politically relevant. I think there's like one thing, what was it, on page 8, where, Wonder Woman's there and they're like, something troubles you, my queen, and she says isolationism. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And this is like the same stuff Donald Trump is talking about, and somehow that's their big political moment in the book. And that was it. She says that one word. There was nothing else. She just got, she says that one word and it's gone. And then, we get some more stuff with Yandel, who's totally ineffectual. Aquaman comes in and like, okay, we got to put this stuff over here. Superman breaks out, and now, but the thing, the great irony, and I think the great slap in the face to anyone who's a Superman fan and you're reading this, is that now supposedly Superman is cool because he wants to fight on the side with Batman. So now he's cool. And that'll be the end of it. Oh yeah, he wants to fight with Batman. They even put in some stupid armor, with the spit curl. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm like, what do you need this? I was like, you don't need any of this stuff to take these guys out. You used to do this all the time. Guys escaped from the Phantom Zone. You were able to put them right back in the Phantom Zone without any problem. Now, mind you, the Phantom Zone still exists, doesn't it?
No, come on, man. He has to use the synthetic kryptonite.
The Phantom Zone in this universe, it still exists. We know that they got rid of Kandor, but the Phantom Zone still exists. Why is he fighting these guys? Why is he fighting these guys hand to hand?
Come on, you're really.
We saw that the Fortress of Solitude still exists.
Not really. It doesn't have.
What do you mean? Not really in what terms? That the door was broken? Did somebody steal the Phantom Zone projector?
Look, that's not Batman related. Unless Batman goes and finds it.
Answer my question, Petey.
It cannot be used unless Batman finds it and puts it back together.
So all we're saying is that the Phantom Zone projector is inside of the Fortress of Solitude. We're just not going to use it because we need kryptonite rain and people fighting in armor.
What I said was Batman would have to help Superman to find it and then put it back together.
It's broken. Is it even broken?
We have to show Batman's skills. It's not that you can't just go that quickly and say Batman's just going to find it. That doesn't show anything.
This is a 2-minute thing. Oh wow! All these Kandorians are loose. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the Fortress of Solitude. I got the Phantom Zone projector, super speed. I'm just gonna lock them all back up. Okay, good. They're in the Phantom Zone. End of story. Done. Now I can go back and go sit on my chair and let it ice over again. And that's the end of the story.
I don't know why you're fighting this. Batman has to walk through the snow, use like some snow dogs and a Batman outfit. Come there, find it broken. And then see, like, you look at how the story's told. This is how it is. And Superman shows up after he fixes it, and he putting the last piece in. He's like, "Oh wow, you found it." He's like, "Yeah, putting the last piece in, buddy." And then we got him. I mean, the tank works this time. Superman took apart the Batmobile in 2 seconds. Now the Batmobile lasted for a little while longer against these tons of Kryptonians, and then. It's just really bad. It was, even though beyond my joking about the Phantom Zone, it's some nice art, but it's just like playing all the stuff. We knew that Miller was just going to use kryptonite all through this. Like, we should have never bought the original Dark Knight.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's even the scene where Batman is fighting one of the Kryptonians. And again, I don't know, why are you going hand to hand with these guys?
You said you have synthetic kryptonite. Didn't you save some to keep on your person? That's how you beat Superman in the first one. So now you fight. Everything is like these hand-to-hand fights. And I'm just tired of the fighting where Batman is complaining at the same time he's fighting. He's like, oh, I feel like I got hit in the face with a sledgehammer. My vision's contracting. Knees buckling. Die! Die already, you old man. It's like, how much complaining and moaning can you do? You sound like one of these football players, or like up here, one of these football players' wives, and it's like all they ever do is complain, about this and the body aches, and that's all it is. It doesn't really come across to me as this tough guy. It's like, oh, you're dressed armor, you're fighting against Kryptonian. Did you learn anything from your first series? You're not supposed to fight these guys hand to hand and head to head, head up. You're supposed to find a way to, slow these guys down to the point where you can overpower them. You're supposed to use a little bit more mind over matter. It's just a straight up brawl.
Well, if you gotta also look that Frank Miller was drawing heavily from Iron Man. So if you read basically a '60s to the '80s Iron Man, the transistors are failing, his heart is failing. There's always these moments where he's struggling. So
Yeah, but
Miller's not giving that up.
those were legitimate. Those were legitimate. Okay. Tony's thing was he had the heart condition, and that was something that was something that was going to be played up to. This guy is saying, look, he's 55 years old, he's getting wailed on, and somehow he's still going. He's telling us, oh, one of my lungs is punctured. Oh, I can't stand on my left leg. Oh, I just lost my shoe, but he's still going. I'm like, so none of this matters. Okay, at the end of the day, none of this matters, and I don't think it's so much he's trying to draw on those Iron Man issues, more like the old pulp stories where you have the detective and he goes and literally it's like something explodes in my jaw when the guy hits him. So we're supposed to realize how bad of a beating it is. But then he's this tough guy where in spite of all of this, he's still able to get up, make it home, tape himself up, and then he's going to come right back out. He never goes to the doctor. He's just going to come right back out and fight. So it's almost like drawing on that a little bit as well. I don't discount the Iron Man stuff. But after a while, it's like, look, how many times? I mean, look, you're an old man. How many times are you going to get your ass beat? At this point, you're supposed to be smarter than this. The synthetic kryptonite. I mean, look, it just doesn't make any sense. And then they had to drag it out because, to be quite honest, if it rains kryptonite, that should be the end of these Krandorians, synthetic or not. Okay, that should be the end of it. I mean, it's rain. It's all over them. It's got to be in every orifice. It's got, it's penetrating skin. It's like, and he's like, well, the best it's going to do is just weaken them so it'll give us a fighting chance. I'm like, a fighting chance for what? You're fighting one of them in armor, and you're not able to take them on. But then they have these scenes where the mob, and it's like 2 or 3 regular people, are beating one Kryptonian down. Like, it's all over. It's all over the place. It's a terrible story. It really is. It's just a terrible story, and I'm just surprised that people will keep buying this. I'm just really surprised.
Well, what can you say? It's they want to see how it ends up, and they're getting to see a little bit of bits of these other characters. And then I think the highlight besides the art are the covers. It's I don't know what Frank's going through, but the mini comic is a rough one to look through. So I don't want to say much on that. Just just hope whatever he's going through, it gets through it and gets better. But otherwise, the covers are really nice. I liked all the other covers.
Okay, you're being much kinder than I'm going to be. The mini comic was crap. Okay, he's
going through something.
Yeah, he's going through something. He's going through all the piles of money he's making for this stuff. Okay, he's stacking paper from the floor to the ceiling. I'm not going to be kind on this. Look, that mini comic with Laura, that was terrible. Okay, I've seen kids in a high school classroom doodle better than that in 45 minutes. It was bad. And here's the reason why I'm saying it's bad, is because he did that mini comic for the Atom in the first issue. That was good. That art was solid. Okay, that was like some standard Miller stuff. We're like, okay, fine, that was pretty good. This looks like he could give a damn, at the end of the day. And it's sort of like, what was this? I remember there was some game where Michael Jordan played and he got on the floor and everybody said he was sick and this, that, and the other. And they're like, oh, wow, he played sick. And I was like, you don't get any extra credit for playing sick. If you step onto the floor, to the court, you're saying you're well enough to play. End of story. You don't. So if you're going to draw the issue, you're saying, okay, I'm up to drawing it. If not, don't do it. You don't get, well, I'm not feeling well. No, you don't get a pass.
I'm giving it to him. I don't care what you say. And otherwise, I would also say, I think they should have brought in Claus to sort of cover if he's struggling like this. Have him do the cover or something like that. I mean, because then he has a cover in the back there that's pretty intense, and I'm like, well, why couldn't it be like that? That's crazy Batman crashing through glass. It's like, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's a funky cover, So that's the only thing I can enjoy really is some of the pics and some of the covers and some of the Aquaman pictures was okay. The early art is fine, but the story and everything else is plenty bad.
It's whack. I mean, that story with Laura, too, really makes me wonder. I'm trying to understand what was the point of that story. Like, all of the relationships are sadomasochistic. at the end of the day. Where no, the only way we can have any sort of there's no romance. Forget about that. And the only way we're going to have any sort of sex is if we're beating the crap out of each other. And then there was that line. She's like, "Did I like it? I'm an Amazon, so I gotta, it's like, hold me, thrill me, kiss me, kill me, that sort of type of stuff. Like this, it's just whack at the end of the day. There's no I mean, the big thing about The Dark Knight, which I think a lot of people have forgotten, is that it was an excellent story overall. Okay, first two issues, third issue, was kind of like, okay, what the hell is going on? And then somehow he was able to bring it back in those final pages, and those real final pages of the last book. Once you get rid of all the politics and all the political posturing, he's able to recapture. He's able to recapture, I think, the essential theme of the first two books. It's a really good story. It's a great story. And when you look at it over the course of time, it's an excellent story in comparison to the stuff that he does later on. This is not good. This is terrible. This is like some really ruddy fan fiction at the end of the day. I'm going to release all the Kryptonians from Kandor. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the world. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Oh, no, don't worry. We're going to bring in Kryptonite Rain. Some Silver Age malarkey, at the end of the day. And even in the Silver Age, it would have never happened. Superman would have just went to the Fortress of Solitude, got the Phantom Zone projector, and that would have been the end of it. Or he would have went and got some gold kryptonite, which he keeps inside of it, put on a lead suit, and just flew close to all of them. That would have been the end of it. Even John Byrne knew to do that one. It wasn't a big deal. Hey, 3 Kryptonians. Let me get some gold kryptonite. Okay, and we're done. If you're someone who is buying this series, okay, you're not getting review copies like some of us. If you're someone who is buying this series, I just don't know why. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you're enjoying this. Let us know why you're enjoying this, because I would love to know what it is that I'm missing, and I can look out for that the next time I pick up an issue to review.
I don't know if there's enough nostalgia to keep you in there, but especially with the Kryptonians being these, religious zealots or something, they're supposed to have that look, and they're also the people are tearing apart their own land. Like I don't understand why why is everything happening in Gotham? How did Gotham become DC Central? So, yeah, I can't recommend it, guys. Besides, you want to look through and page through it, look at the art. You want to keep the art, get it for the art. Otherwise, I don't know.
No, if you want the art, go buy the original art pages. At least that'll have some value.
You can get this for what, $7?
What for? What for? At least the art doesn't have to. You don't have to deal with the word bubbles and have to read the trash. The art, you can just look at the whole. That's what everybody really likes anyway. Everybody likes the raw art, the sketch page. That's the stuff that everybody really wants. Go look and see if you can see. Go online, go to eBay, and see if Kubert has it up for for auction, and buy that. Save your money. Invest in something worthwhile. We don't know how much longer the economy is going to be up. We had the whole Brexit. The Brits left the European Union. The dollar may be worth 10 cents in a month. Why waste it on this? Buy yourself some real good stuff.
All right, I guess we did as much we could. We had to shred it, guys. There's nothing else we could have done with this one.
Hey, this wasn't even shredding. This was more just like a spanking. We were still very, very gentle. I didn't go nearly as bad as I wanted to go with this. I didn't say anything about Frank Miller. I kept it professional. No. I could, look, I didn't say that Frank Miller has some issues when it comes to writing relationships, that he has some issues when it comes to writing female characters, that he has a whole bunch of issues when it comes to writing. He has this twisted notion in his mind as to, superheroes. He does not want to write superheroes. Every superhero, every superpowered being inside of the book is a joke. The Flash with broken legs, and Aquaman over here looking like he's never combed his hair in a day. The only ones who have any legitimacy are the ground level non-meta humans. Everybody else has got an issue, but I didn't really get into that too heavy. Okay, I tried to keep it light, but the one thing I would people of the world, save your money. The only way we stop getting crap like this is if we stop buying it. Okay, we already know most of the reviews out there are going to be favorable, or they're going to be light, so then it's not going to come from the reviewers. We got to really scale back on this. We don't get better stories if this stuff keeps happening, and it just keeps happening because people buying.
Yeah, I would only say, if you read Frank Miller interviews from the past, you'd see that even in the case of Superman, like talking about the character in Superman 1 to Superman 2, there's an understanding more so than the movie makers of the character. And then with Frank Miller we have now is one that likes to push buttons. Ever since The Dark Knight, he's been pushing buttons. And then Dark Knight Strikes Again, he's like, let me push even more buttons. And then it's like, Batman and Robin? That's like, let's go crazy. Let's have Batgirl grab these guys in the nuts and whatnot.
Well, there's a difference between pushing buttons and, creating something of quality. I think you can do both. But, if you're just pushing buttons to push buttons, but then again, like you said, hey, you can keep pushing buttons if he's getting paid, and he's getting paid.
All right, so I guess that's it. That's all we could do. We could do more, but why?
Like I said, leave us some comments. Let us know if you're enjoying this series, and if you are, why? Please help me to understand why. With that, hey, it's late. I'm out.
All right, and hopefully issue 6 is the last one.
It's issue 8. So we got 3 more of these.
Yeesh. All right. Night.
Night. Spinner Eck out. Spinner Eck out. Spinner Eck out.